is Walt Disney. I would like to welcome all of you to the Park Streamers Hangout tonight. Bob, Danny, and Cordy are dear friends, and I know they have an amazing podcast for you. So thanks for joining us tonight, and enjoy the show.
Well, hey, kids, dreamers, and jammers, welcome to another Park Streamers Hangout tonight. You've got me and my good friend Cordy in California here tonight. Want to start off the show with our thoughts out to Barry Place 28 and his family. They did have a loss in their family, and Bob said it would be okay for us to let you know that much. If you guys would be so kind as to keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. He won't be joining us tonight. He's got to take care of his family. And so, Bob, if you do happen to catch any of this, know that our thoughts and prayers are with you, my friend. And if there's anything at all, you've got a big community around you that is there ready to support you. Just want to let you guys know that right off the top so that you guys aren't asking where Bob is. Bob is tending to some matters with his family. And like I said, just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. So, but with that, we do have a kind of a crazy fun show for you tonight, I hope. There was like kind of a weird amount of non-news out there for the parks, nothing really big to talk about that we have experienced. But we have a whole bunch of other little things to bring up and discuss. But before we get to that, Cordy, would you let the folks at home know where they can find you on social media, please?
Yes, indeed. So you can find me, Cordy in California, on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitch.
Awesome. All of those at Cordy in California, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And you can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter /X. All of them at Theme Park Casual. So first off, we got to talk about this insane heat, and it was almost unbearable on Saturday. It was already warm when I was on my way out to the park, and the sun wasn't even up. And once I got to the park, as soon as the sun was up, it was already, getting to the point where you were kind of like, I don't know if I really want to be here. But, as streamers, we do what we can to make sure we get you guys a show and get you guys some fun in the parks. But how did you at least had the little fan? I noticed you were able to. I'm not that smart to have one of those fans. In fact, usually I'm kind of like, I don't need those fans. Those things are for the sissies and then I was like, anytime I saw somebody with a fan, I was just like, oh my God, I need to get one of those.
Yes. No, these things are invaluable. Like having, especially with the lanyard, because then you can still stream, right? You don't have to worry about it. Mm-hmm. Also, the cooling towels, which I did not bring yesterday because it's a little, I don't know. It kind of gets, Yeah. It just
I had a cooling towel while I was doing parking lot at church, and it was just like within like 5 minutes it's dry, but then it's like the heat is like just making it steamy right around your neck. So it's just like, I don't know if this is any better.
I know.
So
yeah.
But
so I had lots of water, right? Lots of water.
Yeah, I actually I think I had like 2 drinks on stream, which normally I don't drink on stream. I'm like, I'll just power through, and I don't want to have to do a BRB screen, if I don't have to. But yeah, we did Grizzly 3 times the one day.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh man, you need to get a little bit of splash, but then like I said, you got wet clothes and it's just steamy all over you. It's not fun. So, but I caught you going on Grizzly yesterday. Yeah. So.
Yeah, that was yesterday. I decided that in the name of science, I was going to try something and rope drop on the hottest day and a Run Disney day. So,
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah. But you got lucky. The rope drop was at 9 a.m. So
yeah. So I'm officially I rope dropped.
Yeah.
Officially, I rope dropped. That was interesting. Like, not to kind of go off of. Well, it kind of has to do with the heat because we had Run Disney, so it was the 5K Friday, 10K Saturday, and then the half marathon yesterday. And just kind of a note to everybody when those things are going on. I didn't personally see anything posted. Maybe if I went to the Run Disney site or something, but I got off on Harbor like I always do.
Oh, yeah.
And then you could only make a left, and then you could only make a U-turn. And then it was interesting things. I got back on the freeway and just like went, kept heading north a little bit. But so that was an interesting kind of thing to do there. But it was very hot. It was very hot. It was an interesting, rope dropping is a lot different than the nighttime stuff.
It's so bright.
It's so bright. It's so hot. And you know what I noticed is the vibe with the people. Because I was like, oh my gosh, it's kind of like, it's kind of stressful because everybody's like, all right, on your marks.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody crowds up and it's like, as soon as the rope drops and the crowd starts moving, it's like everybody jockeying for position. And I was like, oh, I don't know about this. And so the heat, I think we got up to, if I recall, 104, 104 at least, probably
yesterday while I was there. And I knew I was only going to stay for so long, and then I planned to like go home, or do go run errands, go home, rest, and then come back for the normal nighttime stream. So
I was surprised that you came back. I was like, oh my gosh, she's going back after that. Oof. I don't know if I could have done that, because when I came home on Saturday, I was like, I'm done. I am like just exhausted. It was not fun. And I did the 2 streams. I did the regular stream and then a member stream, and both of them I had overheating issues and dropping the stream. So
yes, that was a thing. And I know that Bob Berry Place had mentioned when we caught each other in passing, and had mentioned that too, that his had dropped because they were people report, they're like, okay, Berry Place is in
right.
Place, right? So then I was like, ooh, that's a hot land to be in right now, but it was just so random. I haven't had that in such a long time where the heat messed with
I don't think I've ever had it that bad. I've been to knots when it's really hot and the phone was fine. Not this time. This time it was just like, I had 2 times where I had to like dash into a store or somewhere to try to get the phone to cool down a little bit.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. So we did. I knew, I was like, okay, I'm going to go on Grizzly before I leave, right? So then I could just go home after. But that was a lot of fun. It really was nice. I was actually happy that, like, I wish I would have got more wet because, I did, but it was kind of like my arms didn't really, but it was all adults.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, it was a heavy boat or whatever.
Yeah.
What do they call it? And so I pointed the camera down because I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this. It was like full of water.
Oh, geez.
So everybody, but I was dressed for the occasion. And our group, it was funny because I did single rider, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was waiting to go in, and I could see, right, this family went, and then this guy turns in, and there's a woman leaving. He's like, you're kidding, Nora. Really? So then I'm like, okay. And then last minute, they're like, go, go, go. Single rider right here.
Yeah.
Run over there. And I ended up with that family. And so they're like, oh, and they were like, yay. And the lady was like, yeah, we thought we were going to get some rando. So you're okay. You're okay. Is it okay if we call you Nora? So
nice. I like it when you get a good raft like that. I've had rafts where they're like, like, don't put the camera on us. Just, all right, fine.
Exactly.
We're all going to be bored here on our ride because we're just going to be
no laughter.
Yeah, no having fun over here.
But that was fun. So we had fun with that, and then I saw him a couple other times. Oh, I saw Nora. So they were telling her about what happened. So I went up to her and I'm like, "Oh, are you Nora?"
I am too.
And she saw how wet I got, so that's why she didn't go on it, because she was like, "Oh no, I'm not doing that." But then I was dry by the time I got to the tram completely.
Yeah. It did not stay wet at all. So Yeah, good times, good times. But we forgot to say hello to everybody.
Oh my
So we'll just
gosh, yes.
we're gonna kind of run through some of you guys here if we can backtrack a little bit. But Haunted Mermaid, welcome in. Most Haunted, welcome. Christina Holmes, Lynn, EXP626, Mike Beachman, Pearl, welcome in.
Trish.
Trish is here. Who else we got?
Christina H.
We got Christina 8. We got Grunch. We got Zombies.
Little Mouse
King B.
27.
I'm sorry, which one did you just say?
Little Mouse 27.
Little Mouse, welcome in. Doom Boogie's here, welcome in. Looks like Alan Smithy, John Way.
You got Tom F.
Hi, Tom F, welcome in. We got Buddy Hepburn, good to see you. Tamara Delaney, welcome in. Sorry, we're trying to go back through all of these, and we're just, it's the magic mirror time. So, and if you guys are old enough to remember that, well, you had a great childhood.
Yes, sure.
So, Chad Pritchard, welcome in. And so, if we missed you, just say hi again in the chat. Aubrey Harris, welcome. And we will try to say hi to everybody. Shao Fabro, welcome. I'm going like way all the way out. I didn't know it lets me go back this far. That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's nice on the
StreamYard. Yeah, it keeps everything. So Dash of Disney, welcome.
Slim Devin in the house.
Slim Devin sneaking in here. Welcome to your nightmare. Latoya Hansen, welcome in. Good golly, we got a lot of you guys in here. Good to see y'all.
And you saw Nana Mickey?
Oh no. I'm all the way up at the beginning, so I've got all the people that have been here for a while.
When you're working on a project, you're like, I'll start at the bottom of the list. You start at the top.
Yeah. Barbara Duncan, Mike Skellington, welcome in, guys. Adventures with Roto Commish, welcome. All right, I think we caught everybody. I hope we did. Like I said, if we missed you, we apologize, but just say hi again, and we'll hopefully catch you with the second hello. But we're going to go ahead and move right into our first little story. We had a reopening at Disneyland a little while ago, and not much of a change, but it was good to have his little ride back. We had the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh reopen. I didn't notice much change in the ride. I think there might have been one little spot where they've got more lighting projected on the party at the end. But I think that's about it. But in even that, I think somebody brought it up, and I was kind of like, I don't remember if it had that before or if that's new. So it might be new. It might be something that was there and it maybe was broken before the refurb and they got it fixed again. But I don't know. But the one little part is, let me go ahead and show you guys the one little spot. So we've got this one little area at the beginning. So as you're approaching, you can see right around here, they've got some little bit of a fence over here and a little ramp that takes you up to Pooh. So let me go ahead and play that for you guys, and you can kind of see how it's just a slight little ramp leading you up to the little bridge that takes you across. So nothing major, but I thought it was interesting that they kind of segregated it a little bit from the main path, and I'm not sure what the reasoning is on that, but that was the only change that I've noticed. Slim Devin says did some touch-up paint on the doors too. So that's like the typical refurb, and that's why I didn't really see much. So
Devin also says that he talked to of course he talked to the maintenance crew.
What else would Slim Devin do?
He adjusted the brakes on the ride.
Okay, so it was the typical refurb type of stuff for the most part. But like I said, I always look for, when they do like a change of some sort that's, a little more obvious, that's less like behind the scenes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that ramp, like I said, I'm curious as to why they have the line kind of cut in that way. I'm assuming it's going to be because they're anticipating like Splash Tiana to have lines all the way out in that path area.
True.
So trying to make sure that they keep things as separate as possible, because if Pooh ends up having a long line, then it sticks out and people forget that, hey, let's kind of bend toward the fences a little bit rather than sticking straight out trying to go into the ride. So that's what I can figure with that one, but I'm glad to have it back. Buddy Hepburn, yes, as long as they kept Max, Buff, and Melvin, and they are still there. I tried to get a view of them. Yeah, I tried to get a view of them, but it's always really tough because the gimbal, like when you try to turn it, it wants to reposition itself.
I think I got it. I think I actually got them. The first one I went on, I just, turned the camera around and did that view. So
there you go.
Got to make sure.
Yeah. Yeah, but they definitely are there. And that is like one of the funnest Easter eggs in the park, by the way. That's one of my favorites. So other than that, yeah, like I said, there wasn't any changes. There was the one little, like I said, the spot where somebody thought that maybe they had a little more lighting, projection mapping lights kind of thing just at the party. But I don't know. Like I said, it may have been that it's been there and it broke and they just fixed it. Mm-hmm. So if one of you guys in the chat knows.
You know what I noticed? I actually did notice something.
What?
I can't believe I didn't think of this. So when you're going through the Heffalump part,
mm-hmm.
So I feel like the sound got louder, like the sound, but remember there was another sound, and I always cover my ears. It's like a whistle, like a.
Oh, yeah.
That's gone.
Oh, interesting.
Because I was waiting out for it. Oh, here it comes, and then it did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, just minor stuff, but I guess, like I said, I think the main reason they had to close it is all the construction around Tiana, just to give them as much room as possible. I think they resurfaced a lot of that area, and obviously they put in that new ramp. And I don't know if that has something to do with the grading that they did there or what, but. That's the only big changes. So we've got Pooh back for a while, and we're waiting. We're now counting down for November 15th for Tiana to open, and possibly all of Bayou Country, as it will be called once Tiana's opens. And welcome in Donald's fan.
Yeah. And John, I don't know, John Way, did we get you earlier? But hello, John.
I said hi to him, so I hope he heard that.
And of course the stores are open, right? Pooh's Corner's open again. So
yes, up until you get to what is it, Lewis's?
Yeah. So
I can't even remember what it's called.
Just Pooh's Corner, but you can get treats. So
yeah, you can get your Tigger tails and stuff like that still.
So that's nice. And the waterfall wasn't running. I know sometimes they don't have it running, but it was a little bit of an eyesore because I think Cab family brought it up too. I was talking to Isabel, and she was like, "Oh, like it was a little murky because the water's not flowing through."
Oh yeah. The creek, creek there looks kind of weird. Looks a little.
So it'll be nice to have it all,
moving, all working properly. But yeah, there was like a big tarp still over in front of where the waterfall is. So. All right. So other than that, we do have a little bit of Halloween stuff that we wanted to talk about just real quick. Like I said, these are all going to be.
Did you want to show the Tiana's Bayou, the testing?
Oh, do you have it?
Mark Twain. Yeah, I have it when I was.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sure. So it looks, you can actually see it.
Yeah. Well, since we're talking Bayou Country right now, let's go ahead and see some testing.
Let's go here. Okay. And it was morning. When was this? Yep.
Yeah, Christine H. I'm glad that they kept Pooh Corner at least a little bit. It would have been really weird to have the Pooh ride there with nothing else for Pooh.
Okay. So let me just find the marker because that was later in the day. What was it? Oh, there's Berry Place.
Hey, Bob.
Oops. Okay.
Here's a bit of history for you. The Columbia set sail from Boston Harbor in 1787. She rounded Cape Horn and became the first American ship to carry the Stars and Stripes around the world.
Wow. I didn't know that they had already pulled the tarps.
Yeah, no, I saw it. I was like, oh, this just makes you so happy to see.
Yeah.
Okay, one more. There we go.
There it is.
you're bound to find surprises.
Yeah, that was
Blue
nice
skies
to be
and
able to
sun.
see that. So.
Yeah, very cool. We caught it at night, and you could see them doing the flash when they were taking
Yes,
the picture. So we'll have a short postage soon enough.
that too.
Mike, welcome in.
Did you? I know we got Halloween stuff. Did you want to talk about the space?
Yeah, if you got it queued up, we can jump over to space real quick. So because
Just kind of
since
on
we've
the-
got returning stuff, that would
Yes,
go right
yeah.
along with it. So we also had the return of Space Mountain. I haven't gotten to try it yet.
And you know what was interesting? Because I was, I was saying how I rope drop, but I'm not as. It's been a long time, right? So I've been on there during the day. I used to, but so I was like, oh gosh, I wonder if single rider, all these things.
Right.
You're like, I don't know. So I initially went with the crowd and like got in line. That's just insane.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm out. I'll just wait for single rider. And then I went to the exit, and it was actually open. So there was just one person in front of me.
There you go.
Yeah. So that was nice. But so I guess initially I didn't really notice the changes I had heard. And I know TPC, you said, right, that the tunnel.
The light tunnel.
So I do have that. If you guys want it, it's just the beginning, just, kind of like.
Yeah.
Where that is. But it was nice to get back on space. You really do things when you don't have them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was back here. Oops, commercial. Okay, 27.
Got to make Cordy some money.
Yeah. Let's watch this.
Yeah.
Okay. This is also when my phone fell somewhere in the ride too, in my ride seat.
Oh, so you had a Splash Mountain moment.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Oh, and then I don't know why someone had to get out behind us. So he's bringing that little ramp in. So step out of it.
Wonder if they decided I don't want to do this anymore.
I know, that's what I was wondering. I was too.
So yeah, you can see that the lights are a little bit different than they used to be, and it's nice to have them back. I don't even remember the last time they were working. So
yeah, so that was nice, and it's just such a fun ride. And if I can,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that I've heard that there's less squeaking, but really, it's like okay.
I think I'm laughing and screaming the whole time. I don't hear anything.
Yeah.
But just a fun little. It's fun now because it's over, but I did drop my phone. I didn't realize because I wasn't dressed in my normal uniform because it was hot, so I dressed differently, and so it fell out of my pocket. Silly me. And then I went to go take a picture. I was going to take a picture of the picture, right, of the ride picture to get the number, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Yep.
Oh no.
That happened to me on Matterhorn.
Oh, did it? Oh, yeah. I remember.
Yep. I was like, okay, I got to end the stream. I got to go get my phone. Bye.
I stayed on because I was like, well, let's just, let's see what happens. So they had said they let every single ride vehicle, right? They did a full rotation of all of them for me and checked to see if it was in there. And I said, I think it's on the floor. Like I did not put it in the little, the bag. It's on the floor. I know it. So they're like, we'll just come back in an hour, guests turn things in all the time. And I was like, okay. So then I went and sat out here and I did the find your iPhone.
Oh yeah.
But we had fun. We don't have to hear me because I was having way too much fun with this. But so I'm like, okay, because I had already seen it and I had to shut the chat. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this. Here's my phone. So
Are you watching it ride Space Mountain?
Look at it. It's going around and around. Like it just kept going. I'm like, man, it's like ghost riding like 30 times around the ride.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Just keeps.
She goes show him. I can see it on the ride.
I did. That's what I was like. I gotta go show them. It's really on there. So then I activated the sound thing. You know how it can make whatever sound it makes when you're trying to find your phone. So I kept activating that, doing it over and over again. And then I sent a text to myself. I'm like, please turn this phone into a cast member. So I have a feeling maybe the sound started, it probably was like, oh my gosh, there's that stupid phone. Get it. So I thought it was pretty entertaining. I think funny. It was entertaining to everybody, but I was like, look at it. It just keeps going around.
Yeah, that's funny. I thought you had dropped your streaming phone the way I did on Splash.
No, but we do need to revisit that.
Oh, no, we don't. that one can just stay tucked away. It's still on the live stream. I haven't taken that stream down, so if somebody wants to go find it, they can find it. And whatever. Good. But
maybe we can clip it.
Yeah, I left that one. I was like, you know what? We'll if somebody finds it, it'll be a fun one to remember.
A little Easter egg.
Yeah, we'll just make sure Mrs. Casual doesn't go.
Oh, right.
That was literally my first thought. It wasn't even like, oh no, my phone. It was, oh my God, she's gonna kill me. If I lost the phone, I'm dead.
Oh my gosh, I know. Oh, that feeling. It's
because at that point, it doesn't matter what's on the phone and what anybody gets, because I'll be dead.
No,
so I'm a goner at that point. So. Oh yeah, so I didn't get to go on Space Mountain because when I was there on Saturday, I was planning to do it, but brilliant me got everything ready. We're ready to go. I'm decided, okay, we're going to be training for March Madness, which means I don't get to pick anything. We're going to go, and I'm sure somebody's going to say, you know, whoever gets the card, they're going to be like, I want you to go on Space Mountain. All right, cool. That'll be great. So I'm on my way to Disneyland. I'm in the parking structure waiting to get in. I'm like first one right there at the little gate. First one I'm getting. So I check my phone. Okay, you know, let me just double check. Do I have a park reservation? Yes, good to go. California Adventure. Oh! I was like, dang it, I can't even attempt Space Mountain until after 11. So I was like, I kept, you know, reiterating to the chat once we got to that point. I was like, you know, you guys could pick the Wheel of Madness and it could take us over to Disneyland, you know, and then we can, you know, put up a whole bunch of other rides. But anyways, yeah, that one was great. When I realized that I had DCA, I was just like,
yeah.
I should have checked the night before and, you know, been able to try to make an adjustment real quick before midnight, but oh well. And DJ H Ambient Alliance, welcome in.
Yes. And Jen's
GV559, welcome. Anybody else sneak in here? Oh, Jen's Crochet, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Windy Girl is Welcome to Your Nightmare, right? Do I have that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because when they change the name that much, I'm kind of like, I don't even know who this is anymore sometimes until people in the chat start letting me know, like, oh, so-and-so and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just
I'm totally giving away Dragon Blood's new name because I'm just like that. So I don't know if you know his new name, Dragon Blood's name.
No, right, what's his new name?
Krampus.
Okay. I think I've seen that one. So now I know.
Uh-huh.
I get a kick out of it. It's like, you know, it's
fun.
Yeah, I'm glad some of them waited till September at least, you know, to make the name change and everybody didn't just flip over in, you know, middle of August the way the theme parks did. But so, all right. Well, speaking of Halloween, let's go ahead and talk about some of the Halloween stuff. And as I was mentioning, I mentioned it to Cordy that they finally got me I have been easily just like, you know what, I don't have to buy anything. There's very few things, unless it's got ice cream in it. There's no big deal for me to have to rush out. You know, the popcorn buckets, they're adorable, but I'm not going to spend the money. Sippers, I have no need for them. And then even, I mean, the glow cubes, I was like, why would you spend money on a glow cube? Are you like 6 years old? You know, you need a little flashy thing in your drink, you know? So, well, they got me. I had to get, as soon as I saw it, I was just like, oh my God, I've got to get that. Me and Casual Junior and my brother, this is one of our favorite movies. I consider it one of the most underrated of the Disney movies. It is absolutely hilarious. We quote it all the time. I'll never forget when me and my brother, I think it was the first time I went on an accelerator with him, and we're up at the top and he yells out, "Yzma, put your hands in the air." And the whole rest of the night I was just cracking up. I couldn't stop laughing. But yeah, so they've got the glow cube, and you can see it up here behind me. It's got the little pulsating light, which Casual Junior informed me of. I didn't even realize it had it. I was just like, why do I got to click it twice to turn it off? But he showed me that, no, one of them's like a little pulse. And I was like, oh, wow, what do you know?
It's pretty awesome.
But yeah, so as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to get one, and I have to get one for my brother. And yeah. So.
And you had to do it. You had to be quick. I got mine day too. That first weekend, I think you got yours.
Yeah, I grabbed it that first weekend, or the first day, like within the first few days of Halloween. But yeah, I was just like, I have to get those, and I knew they were going to sell out. I was afraid. I was hoping that they'd been smart and be like, you know what, our stuff always goes crazy. People go nuts for these things. Just buy 1 million of them.
I know.
You know, but nope. Within like 4 days, I think they were sold out, because I went back that Wednesday or something like that. I think the next Saturday maybe, and I wanted to get another one for Casual Junior, and they were out. So I don't know. They're still in the like menus, so they haven't removed them off the app, which I find a little annoying, because it's like, don't get people's hopes up, and then they get there and be like, I want to order one. Why can't I order one? Or, you know, do you have any? No, we don't have any. Why is it in the app? Why are you showing it? So
that's interesting. I didn't realize they didn't remove it.
Yeah. And the only reason I saw that was because I was checking when I was there that day, because I had mobile ordered mine. So I was going to mobile order one for Casual Junior, and it wouldn't let me mobile order, but then it was showing that it was there. So I was like, okay, maybe they took them off mobile order just so that it's, you know, slows the pace down, and, you know, people aren't abusing the system as easily. But nope, they were out resort wide.
Interesting.
And Geo Fright Fest, welcome in.
Hello, George. And Mike is here. What did we already say hi to Mike? Sorry if I didn't hear TPC say it.
Yeah, I said hi to Mike a little bit ago.
Hi, Lynn. How are you? Welcome.
So yeah, Christine H. It's like these things were so. They're spot on. You know, it's like, this is exactly the kind of thing that a fan of the movie wants. And let's go ahead and show off another thing from the movie that they do. So, Courtney, if you would like to bow out for just a moment.
I was going to say.
I want the pumpkin one. Oh, yeah.
I got this last year. Oh, look, that's cool. It goes through.
But they have a cool, and this is a Magic Key exclusive photo op where they give you the poison bottle, and then they've got Yzma there. So I absolutely love that. I didn't have a chance to do that on Saturday. I've got to do this on Wednesday when I'm there.
It's a great one. It's like, I was so excited that they had this, and it's a great spot. I had a great photographer. I gave him a cast compliment. Like, he was just so good. But yeah. With lighting and everything and positioning, like he did a great job.
Yeah, that one's really good.
So you get a couple. There's the one, right? You get your that one, and then a couple more with it. So
okay,
that's cool.
Yeah, that one's a fun one. And like I said, I can't believe that they didn't just order like 9 million of those glow cubes, because you could easily see that those ones were going to go fast.
Yeah.
So,
yes, indeed. Hopefully get more of that. They catch on. They need to catch on to what people are really, you know.
Well, I'm hoping that it's the kind of thing where they ordered in batches, and like they can, they order a bunch, see how it goes, then pull the trigger and get another batch in, because we're barely in September and they're sold out.
Yeah, I know.
All the people coming for Oogie Boogie in October, come on, you're losing money at this point. You're just throwing money away. It's kind of crazy. So, what else? With Halloween, I'm kind of bummed about this one, and it's only because the Frightfully Fun parade for Oogie Boogie is so good that doing the little cavalcade that they do on Main Street down, the parade route in Disneyland, it is just so less than mid, and it's like Disneyland doesn't really have a lot of Halloween offerings other than, the food and merchandise. So here's just a quick little clip of the cavalcade for you guys. So that's basically it. The other thing is you can see the train, or not the train, the omnibus right there coming up, and that's it. That's the parade, the cavalcade. And like I said, if it wasn't that the parade for Oogie Boogie is just so good, I'd be like, whatever, But it's like, come on, give people something, a little something.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel myself drawn to, the Halloween tree is beautiful, right? Like I have to go see it every single time I'm there, but I'm drawn to DCA for Halloween.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I said Disneyland proper has very little Halloween offerings. And honestly, that's why they had to open Mansion before the queue was ready, because without that, they don't have Halloween at Disneyland.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish they would have done at least a little bit of a better parade. Obviously now with the heat, it's kind of like, well, I would hate to have the cast members dealing with that, of course, but they could do another decent parade. The cavalcades and the music, it just feels like a throwaway song. That's what bugs me. Like I said, the Halloween parade at Oogie Boogie is so good. It's like one of my favorites just because of the song. The way they did it's I don't know. It's frustrating when they do something like this, and it or a nighttime parade. Yes, exactly. Yes. Well, see, that's where I start looking at it. Would I want a nighttime parade with how crazy the crowds are right now? Could you imagine trying to clear out the parade route?
Yeah.
On top of everything else that they do, because the parade would have to be going at 8:30. That it would have to step off at It's a Small World at 8:30. That's what time Main Street Electrical Parade used to step off.
And then we've got fireworks, which are just jam packed.
Right. So it would be the parade would go by, everybody would swoop into the parade route, but it would be a logistical nightmare. It seems nowadays trying to because you'd have so many people jockeying for position for the fireworks right after, that the parade route would be this just bottleneck of people everywhere. Like Main Street would be impossible other than the corridors on the back.
That's true.
So while I would love the idea of a nighttime parade, I look at the logistics and I think, what, if they had a nighttime parade, it would make walking the park miserable from like 8 o'clock on. And it's already bad. It already gets in those moments of where you're just like, should I even be here? This is crazy.
Yeah.
Adding a nighttime parade would just be, I think I would probably just become a morning rope drop person only and just be like, you know what, we'll see fireworks maybe every now and then from the parking structure.
I do. I love, speaking of fireworks, but I love the trees. Like, I don't want any of them to go away, but sometimes it's really tough.
Yeah.
To, I still kind of like going back and forth with myself. Like last night I got closer because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no one really here. Mm-hmm. So I got, kind of near where the partner statue is, just behind that. But you have to be like in a very specific spot.
Yep.
To see the, the blow up projection with Jack and Boogie and everything. So, but otherwise the fireworks, like, what do you think of them? I think they're great. The timing.
Oh, I love the Halloween show. Halloween Screams is one of the best of the fireworks shows. The music is appropriate. I don't think it's the best music from fireworks, but it's a very appropriate music. But the fireworks themselves are top notch. I love it that they use such variety, the timing, like you said, I always look for, do they get the type of shells that match the tone of the song, and Halloween, they nailed it. That's why I'm really curious to see how Fire of the Rising Moons looks now.
Yes, I know. We've been talking about that too. Like yeah. And then we only get them on weekends, so it's been a little tougher, right? Because I'm sure a lot of us would have done the weekday.
Exactly.
One by now,
yeah.
But,
yeah, that's the tough part. It's like, because I'm even thinking it's like this coming Saturday, I'll be there, and I'm like, I'm dying to know if Fire of the Rising, what that looks like. Did they change the music? Did they change the order of stuff? Because the fireworks are different. They had to do something. But then I'm like, but I want to see the Halloween show. I got to see the Halloween show first, So then it's like, okay, well then when's the next weekend I'm going to be there? And it's like, oh, I don't know. It's like, hopefully I can get there the following Saturday night. And yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where you got to pick and choose right now. So, which is a bummer that, we can't be like Florida where they get fireworks every night.
Or sometimes, twice a night.
I was going to say sometimes twice a night. Suckers.
Lucky.
I know. Well, I always laugh because there's people that, when you hear some of the people that live around near Disneyland, they're like, oh, my husband or my wife, they can't stand it when the fireworks are going off every night. And it's like, I think it would probably take at least 40 years for me to get to that point. I'd be the guy that has, like a little deck built on top of his roof, so that with a chair and everything, so I could go and sit and watch the fireworks every single night.
You could play the music. I mean,
exactly.
Like, who's on?
Well, I did that one time years ago when we didn't have our passes anymore, but we were staying at the Disneyland Hotel. We went for a couple of days in the park, and then our last night we weren't able to go into the park. So I went into the Esplanade, and I found a YouTube video. And right when the first firework went launching, I went play, and just put it on my ear, and I'm sitting there watching the show with the music. So we have our ways.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And with the nighttime shows, it just popped in my mind that World of Color is down for like a month.
Oh, is it already down?
Yeah, it started. Because this week already. I don't think it's up tonight.
I was planning on the 16th because I was going to try to maybe catch it this weekend.
Let me check. See if we can just.
I had 16th in my head, but that doesn't mean anything because I'm an idiot most of the time.
Because it was still running during the week, right? Only Fantasmic was the one that switched to weekends only. Because I know Fantasmic is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure World of Color has been daily because they only need to do the one show if they want.
Yeah, I think. Here, let me just double check. Because now we need to know. These are the things, right?
Right. This is why this is your e-ticket to theme park.
Exactly.
We'll go find something while we're on the stream. Try to look up stuff.
It is closed for refurbishment.
Oh, dang it. Oh, well.
Small World, you have until the 15th, I think.
Okay. So, yeah, see, I was going to say, I knew there was like the 16th was something, but I had it mixed up. Oh, well.
Indiana Jones is also under refurbishment right now, starting today.
Okay. Good to know for rope dropping.
Yep. So what do you think with World of Color being down for refurbishment? How do you think that would affect kind of the crowds?
Well, obviously DCA rides are going to be a little bit more crowded. just because you don't have, a couple thousand people waiting for the show. And, there's a lot of people that still have the tickets where they can only get to the one park. So they're stuck. It's not like, oh, well, we kind of did what we did. They don't have a show. Let's go over to Disneyland. It's no, we're kind of stuck here. So I'm guessing like Monsters After Dark. I don't think you're going to see that one under, the 85, 90-minute mark at all especially on the weekends. Once 3 o'clock hits, I think it's going to be, just jam the whole rest of the day because there's nothing else to pull people away from it. So I think same thing with racers. Incredicoaster is an interesting one. That one, it's like I was looking at the wait times today. Everything manageable. Guardians was like 85 minutes. Racers was 75 minutes. Incredicoaster was 30 minutes. I was like, what's going on? It's like one of those weird things where it's like, is it really one of those things where the themed attractions are just better? And people are more, they gravitate toward them because it's like, well, it's more than just a roller coaster, it's more than just a drop ride. So I just found that odd because it was like the entire park was pretty much either extremely manageable or well under what it usually is. Even I think Space Mountain was at 40 minutes when I looked. So like that tells you, how the park is. Everything else was in the, anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So yeah. And yeah, Incredicoaster 30 minutes. The other two big ones were in the 75, 85 range. So double the wait. So interesting.
Those are crazy. On kind of the note of fireworks, I think so. Alan says the hotel should have a TV or radio channel that plays the music so you can watch from the room. They have it, the viewing area, right? They have the sound.
The one time we stayed at Disneyland Hotel, we got the Fantasy Tower and we were facing north. So our room did overlook, you could see the park from our room. I believe they did have a channel. Then they told you, for the fireworks viewing, just tune to this channel and it'll play the music. So I believe they still do that. I can't guarantee it. This was, at least probably, 10, 12 years ago. But yeah, they used to do that. So it's definitely a good idea. And I believe they did do it.
I'm curious if, like, I know, I've been wanting to go to, how now there's a lot of rooftop restaurant bars, right, of the newer hotels. And I know the one that's over, is it a Hilton? There's one where they have the rooftop and they do play.
Oh, they pipe in the music too?
Yeah,
nice.
So then you're able to watch. So I think a few of them do that. And then I think at Pixar Place, where they have, where you can kind of, the pool level, where you can watch from there, that they play it through the speakers outside as well. So
that's cool. Tom F., good night. Have a great night, my friend. We will see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. And Shelly Mendez, welcome in.
Hi, Shelly.
Is the audio still the same in Galaxy's Edge? That's what we want to find out. We don't know if it's the same order. I'm assuming it's probably most of the same, pieces, but they have to be rearranged just because the shells and the tone and everything of the different explosions are going to be different because, you don't want, blue and pink exploding when they're doing the Imperial March. So. Yeah.
Sounds like we got to reserve a table. Geofire. Next time. And then just kind of on the fireworks, the houses on Laster Avenue seem the closest to Disneyland. There might be some off-ball. Yeah, it's interesting. I know Winx, right? They can hear it, they can see it. So like TPC was saying, I think I would do this. I'd want something too where I could actually watch them from the comfort of my own.
Exactly. I like I said, I would be out there every single night. I mean, there might be some nights where I'd be like, yeah, I've seen them, maybe I've got something else to do right now or whatever. But if I'm listening and I hear them going off, I'm going to be like, I need to go out and watch.
Yes.
I don't understand the people that, it's like the fireworks are going off that way and they're walking that way. there's fireworks. It's like my brain cannot comprehend how you do that. I mean, even when I'm doing like the fireworks walk, when we start in Tomorrowland, walk all the way over to Galaxy's Edge, when I can't see the fireworks, I get like antsy. I'm like, okay, gotta hurry. It's like we're missing the fireworks. It's not like they're that different every night, but
yeah. Well, that's another area I need to I need to see if they still do it over there, but because my daughter doesn't like to do like the crowd thing, so we would sometimes, because I'd be like, can we please watch the fireworks? So we would watch them from Tomorrowland,
right?
So you can see them, and then they have the music playing,
right? So
that's kind of nice. I mean, it's just another tip. Like if you don't want to be in the crowd.
Right.
You don't want to be in the mess of Main Street even, because it's going to take you a long time to go either way.
Right.
Tomorrowland is, pretty good option, because I've done that where I've taken the monorail in as it was starting.
Uh-huh.
And then right there, you get everybody standing at the stairs and watching it, over Matterhorn and everything. So it's pretty cool wherever you are, but.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of fun because you get the different vantage points, and it's like things look a little bit different from the different points in the park, because it's like you're not used to seeing the fireworks be right behind the Matterhorn at times. So when you're in Tomorrowland, you see that happening, and it's kind of cool, especially if you get into the spot like over by the stage. You can see the fireworks over on this side, but then you can also see them going off, anything that's going off on the castle as well. Whereas Galaxy's Edge, you can't see anything that's happening at the castle. You see light flashing, but you can't see the fireworks themselves. So there's and Tomorrowland has the advantage of you're not squeezed in, packed in, and you don't have the crowds even when it's over. It's like, okay, on to our next ride. And
you can make a dash for Space Mountain.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Table 3 has been reserved.
There you go.
Awesome.
All right. So, and then we had a kind of a big thing, and you mentioned it. We talked a little bit about it. Was the Run Disney, and it was a Halloween version in September. So, but we had some friends in there. We had Coda Bear did the half marathon. Who else was PJ's Ponderosa and Jay? That one was funny because they were in my chat and they were saying how, yeah, we're doing the half marathon. And I said, oh, awesome. And they said, it's going to be crazy because we didn't train.
No, not a day.
I was like, how do you sign up for a half marathon and then just, we'll just show up that day. But they did it. They finished. And it amazing job. There's no way I could have done that at any capacity. I think I mentioned I might, if anything, I could sign up for the 10K and train for that one, and do a what is it, quarter marathon at that point.
Yeah, I mean, there is the 5K and the 10K, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
You have options, but
yeah,
that's and I saw that.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that they said that the reason they signed up was because they wanted the medal. They saw the medal and were like, we got to get that. Let's go run 13.2 or 13.1 miles so we can get this little medal. It's like, hey, yes. They did it.
And I know Coda Bear ran. I saw the pictures after because I didn't see it when he first started. But did you see his beard, the Forrest Gump?
Yes. Yeah. He had to take it off. It was like falling. Yeah. It was like just all over the place. He was just like, this ain't working. He kept the hair though. The hair was going under.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And then Cab Family.
Oh, Cab Family. That's right. Cab
Family did the race. I think she was going to do. I think she was going to do the 5K with her oldest son, but it just was a weird, weekend and everything, but she did do the half marathon and completed that. So
yeah, I respect those people because you know what, it takes a certain crazy to decide, I'm going to go run for basically no reason. That's how I view it. I said basically no reason. There are reasons. I've never been a runner. It's never been my thing.
Oh, that's too funny.
We also had Rebecca from Goofy Guys
yes,
Adventure.
that's right.
She did it.
She
And they were actually in the park that night, but she had the scooter, so she was like relaxing the whole time.
I didn't see them that night, but yeah, Isabel's like, yeah, she's here in a scooter.
Yeah,
she cracks me up.
Nana Mickey says that Disney marathons, you can stop at each mile marker and take pictures, which makes it easier. Okay,
I think they kind of made it. I mean, you could walk really fast. Of course, PJ's, he's very tall. Jay's tall too, but so they're stride, right? So I know that when I saw some of him, like views of him from like Sully Woolley had posted Adam the Woo because he was vlogging it. So we're like, sightings of PJ. Nice. So it's like if you ran a bit and, kind of did a fast walk for, a lot of it. But I think with that, I mean, how many times did we stop during the chalk walk? We didn't even get to.
Oh, I know. We didn't get to go the whole thing. Next year, though. Next year.
But yeah, they had some really cool photo ops and photo pass photographers and everything. So that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it would make it kind of a little bit easier because then it's like if it's at each mile marker, you're kind of like, okay, I just got to get to the next photo op. You break it down into, it's like I'm not running 13 miles. I'm going 1 mile 13 times.
True. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. The mental thing. So I think I could possibly, I could see how that could change your mindset to where it's like, and if they make the photo ops progressively, better and more interesting, that it's like, oh, well, I got to get to mile 10, because that's got that photo op or whatever.
Well, because I heard Hopper was out there. Hopper from Bug's Life was out
really
there at one of the spots.
Wow. I thought I could swear I saw they had Pain and Panic too.
Yeah, from the
Hercules
Boogie stuff, right? Like a lot of
yeah, so
that's pretty cool.
Barbara Duncan says, I think Coda Bear trained by cutting out junk food. Okay.
I don't know. He was eating a lot of chips when he did his 24-hour stream. He was living on chips and energy drinks.
Yeah. Izzo's Place, welcome in. But yeah, like I said, I could probably do the 10K, but I don't know if I, just the craziness of having to try to sign up. I heard it's just nuts. It's like just as crazy as trying to get, Oogie Boogie tickets and whatnot. So,
yeah, I think they actually had to stop it. They were having so many technical difficulties that they just, stop, and we're going to give you a new date later. So,
jeez.
Yeah, that was a little. Yes, and he did it in his slides.
Well, if they're comfy, I mean, why not? If his feet are used to it, that's the other thing. It's like, you gotta go with what's comfortable and what your feet are used to. If you try new socks and new shoes, you're going to be hurting.
So Nana Mickey's daughter and brother-in-law and nephew did the half marathon in Walt Disney World, and they stopped. They kind of did the mental.
Did the mental thing. Yep. We're going to go see 13 photo ops.
Yes, exactly.
They're 1 mile apart. That's all. Well, I mean, if you think about it, if you've done a full rope drop to close day at Disneyland, when you're trying to do as much as you can, I want to say we cleared close to 30 miles one day.
Yeah,
because it was after the pandemic, so you had to walk the entire tram route and on top of everything. And let me tell you, man, we got there, it's rope drop. So we are there by 7:30 and, all this stuff, getting in the theme park commando, got to hit all these rides, doing all this stuff. 10 o'clock, rolls around, we leave, we go to Earl of Sandwich, get our sandwiches. And then basically everybody's already gone. And it's like me, Casual Jr., and Mrs. Casual walking that tram route with 4 other people, up ahead of us. That thing felt like it was 10 miles, just that one little stretch. It was so crazy. At the end of the day, you're exhausted. And it's just like, oh my God, I never realized how long this little stretch is.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were just like, it was like you walk and then you come around the curve and then it's like, oh my God, there's another curve, and it like opens up and there's the straightaway, and you're just like, oh, jeez. So yeah, I want to say we cleared almost 30 miles that day. It was either that day or it was Ketchum Jr.'s birthday when we stayed at the hotel up on Harbor and Ball and walked.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So I was up at 4 a.m., everybody else at 5. And then we walked all the way to Disneyland, got there, in time for rope drop, stayed till we didn't leave the park until 12:30, and then walked all the way back to the hotel. It was
fun times. That
one was crazy too.
So what you're saying is we're going to do it next year?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. You heard it here.
The 10K, right? That's what we agreed to.
Baby steps.
That's the one where they wheel you through, right?
Right.
All right. Let's see. Still sort of on the Halloween thing. If you guys caught my live stream about a week and a half ago, we went to do one of our usual little fun things. A musical interlude is what we call it on TPC. And we go to Frontierland and we throw a dirty little quarter into the Nickelodeon and listen to the music. Well, we went, and when we walked in, there was somebody, they had the cabinet open, and he was, obviously working on it in some fashion. And the music was already playing. I said, oh, somebody's working on it. So we kind of hung out over there, and we got to meet a friend of ours now, Dave. Let me show you a little clip of that real quick.
Real. 1925, thereabouts.
Wow.
Yes. And Walt purchased this machine with a collection of instruments in 1953, before he even had this land. Really? He was just thinking about what things he would need when he opened his park.
Well, you would need that.
You would need
Yeah,
those,
definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. Don't want to be without one of those.
That is totally cool. In 1974, I was a gopher for entertainment, counting pianos, and I wandered into the shop that works on these things, and they had nobody to work on it.
So we got to sit here and talk to this guy. You can listen in on the live stream, but we got to talk to him for like almost 10 minutes. And such a wonderful man. But the person who for the last 50 years has worked on the musical instruments, the player, pianos and stuff like that at the parks. So that Nickelodeon, he has worked on it since 1974.
Wow.
And he now has an apprentice and is transferring his knowledge to someone so that, thankfully it'll go somewhere. And if you listen, he tells the story of the big one on Main Street. They needed to refinish the cabinet that it sits in. Mm-hmm. So in order to do that, they pulled the cabinet apart, pulled the whole machine apart. And when they were ready to, they had the cabinetry all set. They realized none of us know how to put this back together.
Oh, no.
So they brought in Dave and said, here you go. That was one of his first jobs, was put this back together. Here's a bucket of screws and all the parts. Have fun. And wow. he did it. And like I said, 50 years later, he's still taking care of these instruments. And it was so cool to be able to sit there and talk to him about it for a little bit and get some of his stories. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was very cool. Like I said, if you guys want to go find it on the live stream, I'll probably put the link in the description after. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but yeah, there's several more minutes of it of talking to him. So.
Wow, that's great. And like you said, I'm glad that he has an apprentice who can, because that's tough if you're not able to kind of pass along that type of knowledge like that. There's no okay, let's, to try and figure it out.
Yeah, you don't put an ad out for that kind of thing. Yeah. Let's see. We have Judy's Disney Fairy Tale. Welcome in. And Charlie Infinite. Welcome.
Hello, Charlie.
So, yeah, it's crazy, and he basically fell into the job. It's a really neat little story that he tells. So, like I said, I don't want to give it all away, but you guys can go check it out on the live stream and hear him tell his own story. So, and it was funny because I asked, I was trying to get everybody to do a cast compliment, and he's all, "Oh, I'm not a cast member here." He's all, "Yeah, I haven't been a cast member for several years," and he's all, "But the company I work for, they have a contract with Disney, and basically they pay my salary." Okay. And I was like, wow. And then actually I found somebody had a little thread on Twitter regarding the music itself, and it's some teenager on the East Coast somewhere that somehow has this knack for arranging music for these types of instruments, like with these multiple instrument things and whatever. And so he'll arrange the music for, using the xylophone and drum and triangle and castanets and all these different things. And they basically pay him and say, "Hey, can you put this together?" He puts together a file, and then that file feeds the instrument and it plays it live. It's like the instrument, the little motions and everything that you see in there, that's all real. It is really playing the music, and some people in the chat were like, "Wow, I figured it would have been, that the what you're seeing is just for show, and it's, being piped in, through, speakers." But nope, it is actually the music. So it's just like, that's amazing.
Yeah,
So
I'm so happy that's still there. It needs to just be there till the end of time.
yeah. We thanked him several times for doing what he does, and just letting him know that there's a lot of people that appreciate the love and the care that he puts into his job, and we're so thankful that there is somebody that does that. So
that's great. Yeah, and TBC will put the link in there in the description, because I know I'm seeing a lot of comments. People want to check that out.
Yeah,
so.
you know what? Let me see if I could just pull it up real quick, if I can remember which one it is. I want to say it's the Quacking Up. Let me see.
Welcome in, Amusement Park Pirates. How are you doing?
Of course, I'm not going to be able to find it right away. Anyway. All right, well, I will get it into the description and make sure you guys know which one it is.
Check that out, you guys. It'll be in there.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Said the Genius Arranger kid doesn't even play an instrument.
Really? That's amazing. Yeah, it's just a great story. So
no, those are those things. See, like when you're at the parks, like talking about, no day is the same, right? You might have, the normal stuff as you walk around and like, okay, yep, this is all the same, but there's always things that happen that are just, you have to just be there at the right time to catch
exactly. And those are the things. And even Knott's Berry Farm, we got to run into one of the guys in the Western Trails Museum, and they have a similar type of thing that it's got like the big metal disc that has that does the music. And he was telling us about it and how these discs, it was like somebody found them like behind a dresser in some house at some point, and it was just like this weird story of how this instrument, this thing, got to Knott's Berry Farm. And I was trying to remind the viewers, it's like, this is an actual instrument from like 100 and something years ago. To be able to have something like that 100 years ago was gigantic. We take it for granted, being able to listen to music, any kind of music, any number of, ways to listen to it. Mm-hmm. But to have something like that back then, it would have meant like you are extremely rich or well-connected or something. It was like, this was not the kind of thing that everybody could have in their house. So, it's that kind of perspective. It's the same thing like with Tiki Room. It's like, before you start saying, it's kind of boring, put yourself in the position of somebody nobody had ever seen little talking birdies before. This was the first time anything like this was done like that on that scale. So, you can imagine how the visitors were probably just shell shocked watching Tiki Room the first time. So
I still love it. I love being in there, but but I get it. Yeah, it's like that in Small World. But you're like, but if you look at it like you just said, right? I don't know. It kind of puts it into perspective of like, wow.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why a lot of people, it's like Disneyland shouldn't be a museum. No, but we do need to hold on to some of the history of it. And I'm not going to go off on any rants right now because that's not the time for it. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that at Disneyland. Disneyland was very groundbreaking with any number of theme park technologies or innovations. So, and like Lynn says right here, and they're still playing 100 years later. That is craftsmanship. That is crazy.
Exactly.
So. Amusement Park Pirates, thank you for subscribing.
Oh, thank you.
So, what else we got?
Like those little things. It was funny. I had my cousins were visiting for something else, but then we met at Downtown Disney, and so they're like, "Oh wow, it looks really nice, right there." It's changed a lot since they were here last. And I was like, oh yeah, they're putting in this, and I can't recall the name of what the shopping center, right? They're going to have that area that pretty soon, right? It's coming up quick. Yep. And then they were looking, of course, for Marceline's. So like, oh, I want to get, all my treats because they weren't going into the park. I'm like, well,
they've got some of them, or did they already get rid of that little cart too?
The little cart's there, but it's just some apples and little things. But then, I was telling
and it's not as magical when they pull it out of the little container thing. That's
it's got that little case, right? Little glass case, your options. But I was, telling them about how they're changing the name when it was in, so. But
chipping away at that history little by little.
So that'll be interesting. But looking forward to that, like, the changes coming up there. It's pretty exciting, the next 6 months to a year, just the things that, we're going to get.
Yeah, we're going to start seeing some stuff happen. We still have not heard anything about the 70th other than the tiny little bit that they released at D23, and there was not much. So they're either, just holding their cards. Give me a minute. Just give me a minute.
That's all we needed, GB.
I was gonna say we still have one more story that we've got to get to. So, but I'm wondering if they're I'm wondering if they're just holding their cards, close to the vest right now, and going to do a big reveal. But usually, they've got things kind of hyped up. There's something that they're, releasing now to get people to start booking their, springtime and summer vacations and make sure that, people aren't already committed elsewhere.
Right.
So I don't know. It's kind of odd to me, but.
Yeah. I mean, I just hope I think they will. I think they'll have something really good for us next year. I'm looking forward to it. See what they're going to do.
I mean, and it could be something, honestly, like we were talking earlier, they could just say, you know what, we've got Paint the Night coming back to Disneyland. And that would probably have people, going nuts. At least the locals will definitely be like, okay, I got to go back, at least one time during the summer. And if they run the 3 ticket, the 3 park, 3 days, one park per day kind of ticket thing again, it'll be, the same situation that we've had this year where, Monday through Thursday, for whatever reason, are just ginormously crowded. And then you have a nice, calm, peaceful Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that would be nice. I think from all that we were talking about adventures with Roto Commish, we owe a lot to Walter Naughton, right?
Yep.
Too, and Walt Disney. But yeah, just kind of all.
Well, we have to, just be so thankful that their names worked. I mean, Knott's Berry Farm just rolls right off the tongue, and
Yes.
not very many people's last name can be paired with land and still sound absolutely magical. I mean, Disneyland, that's, it's almost like there was nothing else he could do. He had to do something that dealt with, bringing smiles and making magic like that with a name like Disney. So I've always thought that. I've always like, what, there's just no better name for it. You couldn't have had a better last name.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's so much, and it's really nice to know that they were friends, that they didn't, they it was probably, if anything, friendly competition, but there were a lot of things that Walter Knott innovated that Disney said, that's a fantastic idea. We're doing that. So,
yeah. Can you imagine being a fly on the wall
when they're talking? Yeah. Geez.
Like, so they're like, no way.
Felix Gomez, welcome in, and David Diaz, welcome. But yeah, it's like, I always get a kick out of it. There's the one picture of Walt like sitting on a bench on Main Street, and he's just kind of got this like look like he's, like studying what's going on. And I'm always thinking, is that the point when he was thinking about it? And then he, right after that, he went and told everybody, you know what, we're going to build a mountain. Because that's what they did. It's like, okay, he put a mountain right in the middle of the park. That is what is so amazing about how Disney used to do things. They try not to do that anymore, and I understand the operations of it and all of that. But being able to walk completely around the Matterhorn is, I don't think you guys understand what that does to the fantasy of being able to draw you into believing everything that's happening around you, that you just allow yourself to fall into it. And it's those kind of things. It's remarkable that he was not only able to come up with the ideas to be able to, inspire his designers and engineers and everything, but then those designers and engineers caught the vision and were just like, you know what, we're going for it. Let's do this. Yeah. We got to figure out how to build a mountain and put a roller coaster in it. So that's the kind of stuff I love to learn about the theme parks. It's that, let's do something that hasn't been done yet, you know? So.
And it still amazes me, even to this day, as you walk through the lands and everything changes. You know what I mean? You just cross over from teacups to Matterhorn.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got, do 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 do, and then you go, and then you've got
all that kind of stuff, and it just, it's. And I always get a kick out of it because we talk about how, the theming on this and this is, broken and this wasn't in this time period. Where people get into the minutia, but yet we never questioned a monorail coming right around the side of the Matterhorn, right next to the Sleeping Beauty Castle. And I always wonder, is it because, well, it just was always like that? Or, and this is my belief, the designers back then had a touch. They knew what they were doing intrinsically. It wasn't they learned something. It was just something in them that knew what to do and how to make it to where your brain didn't find those incongruencies, and that's what I think it is. I think it was just that they had a innate, and I think that's why they caught the vision, was because they, like I mentioned, Disneyland calls to me. Theme parks, they do that. Like I said, the fireworks, if I hear fireworks, I'm like, I got to go find them. Same thing with roller coasters. It's like, I don't care what roller coaster it is. I want to watch it for a little while. I just want to see it go by. I don't have, even if I don't get to ride it, I just want to watch it. I love just sitting outside sometimes, when I leave Knott's, and I'll just kind of watch Ghost Rider go around a couple times.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of people that need to be working on these parks. Those are the people. You need the people that live and breathe it. And, you make a quick little mention of something and they're like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. And they can, rattle off all the different stuff about it and know, all the history, or, just the emotions that are involved with all of these things. Those are the kind of people we want working on the parks. So.
And I think that it was kind of like, I mean, can you imagine working directly with Walt Disney? But like having someone at the helm that's just like, sky's the limit. Like there are no limits, right? We're just like, we're going to do this. And to be able to have that freedom to just go with it, and like, no idea is going to, be laughed at. It's like, okay, let's,
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. It's like there's no crazy ideas, but then is it the right idea?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, as much as, he wasn't the designer on these things, he had that touch of knowing that's the right way. That's the right idea. Not to say he didn't, have his, missteps and, there were failures here and there, obviously. But considering how often he knocked it out of the park, you can't, I mean, I never met the guy. And yet he's affected my life like this.
Yeah.
Because I have a love for theme parks, and, the park that he built himself, had a hand in. I still, every time I go, it's like, I don't want to leave. And I'm 50 years old and I'm sitting here. Every time it's time to leave Disneyland, I'm always like, all right, I guess I gotta go.
Yeah, that's pretty, that's impactful. I mean, I don't know of any other place, right?
Yeah. But that's just it. It's like, and every industry should have those kind of people. The technology industry, the sports and whatever. You should have people that are just so in love with what they're doing, be doing it. I was talking with a friend. There's no way I could be an accountant, but there's some people that just love seeing those numbers line up and have it balance out and be like, I nailed it. Look at that.
Yeah.
I've got, 15 spreadsheets of numbers and all these things feeding into it, and look at it. It comes out perfect to the penny. And that's their thing. And they love it. That's who you need to have as accountants.
Your passion, right? You have
exactly.
A passion for it.
Linda Lou, welcome in. Rogue Attraction. Good to see you, my friend. Anybody else we missed? Anybody sneak in here?
Buddy Hepburn brought up about the Skyway, like that too. Like I remember writing that and just like how amazing that was. You go through and you hear the sounds.
Yeah. Yeah, I always talk about the Skyway, how it was one of the best because you could see Disneyland from a completely different perspective. You could look down on everything and see it, from a distance rather than, just the eye level. Those kind of views and vantage points are very few and far between now. And it's one of the things I miss and why I love the Treehouse, why I love third deck of the Mark Twain, because you get those views. So. Yeah,
most definitely.
All right, so that was a semi-rant. But I think I'm going to have to do this, and I know Cordy's going to be, pushing back on me a little bit, which is fine. But some of you guys may have already seen this. I had this on Twitter last week, and I just posted it on Instagram. But there was something that was bugging me on the tram route. And it was these posters. The one there on the left, green Lightning Lane multipass. That's the actual banner that is up there. So I posted on Twitter saying this looks like it's a store brand antihistamine package. And I got a bunch of people commenting saying, yes, I agree. Oh my gosh, yes, it's terrible. Oh, blah, 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 all this stuff. So then I decided, you know what? I need to put my money where my money where my mouth is and take a chance and see, okay, so I didn't like what Disney did. If I'm such a hotshot designer, what would I do? And so the one on the right is what I did in less than an hour. Literally, less than an hour. From finding all the artwork to redrawing the logo and making it look a little bit better, I think, and putting it all together, less than an hour. Why can't Disney, who is a gigantic, world-renowned, worldwide, people fight to be able to work for Disney, why do they produce something like the one on the left? I just don't get it. It drives me nuts. As a designer, I look at that and I say, that is not appealing in any capacity. The wording doesn't even make sense. If you read that top line, what does that tell you? Save time waiting in line? If I'm waiting in line, I'm not saving time. And like I said, so I was just like, I'm so frustrated with this, but then I didn't want people thinking that I'm just, oh, look at you. Yeah, you think you're so good and you can bash Disney, but everybody's a critic. Well, I'll let you guys decide if the one on the right is, a bad design compared to the one on the left, and the one on the left is the better choice.
So TPC also posted this on Instagram today.
Yeah.
And I said, I love the design. I do. I'm like, that is way beyond better than what's up there. But I said, shh. But we don't want that one out there because then people will buy it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was, that's a valid point. That's a valid point that, they're like, you know what? Don't say much about it. We've already made enough people mad,
But it is interesting that's I never even noticed them. Like these don't even cross my eyes when I'm going on the tram or whatever. It's like until you posted it, I'm like, oh, those are up
there. But that's just it. It's like, I'm a designer. I come from a marketing background. So for me, it's like anytime you've got something out in the public, it's a chance to, you're either making a brand deposit or a brand withdrawal. And this one is a withdrawal. They're losing part of their brand on this one.
Mm-hmm. And then Alan said, boom, no CM Green worked because it did.
Well, actually, what? Somebody commented on that saying, maybe they chose the green so that it blends in, and it doesn't, it's not as garish, on there. And I said, I could believe
like you're money grabbing for.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, I could believe that, except that the branding for multi-pass is green. And you don't choose your branding colors based on the banners that you're going to maybe put up on the tram route so that they don't stand out very much. Because I guarantee you guys, they put a ton of money into this, into that design that you're seeing, that lightning lane multi-pass with the little LL arrow. There were people that spent probably, weeks debating on different logos and different typefaces and stuff for that. And I threw mine out in less than an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And I used a better looking logo and a friendlier typeface, one that doesn't feel like I'm buying store brand antihistamines.
Yeah.
Yeah, Linda Lou. Well, and did we say welcome to Linda Lou? Good evening, Linda Lou. But she said, there's this like Mentos gum case. I had several people, they were posting, like the Flonase packaging or Visine packaging.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. And like I said, I'm a designer. That's the only reason I'm complaining about this. And I may do this, anytime I see this from now on. If I see a sign or something that I'm just like, no. I'll take a picture, I'll redesign it, and then put it out there and see how it goes. So, but I mean, you guys saw the whole thing when they did the Disney 100, how many of the banners were either the typos or the wrong year. It was like,
that was terrible. That was embarrassing.
Yeah, that was really bad. This one, like you said, most people aren't even going to notice it apparently. And then, but the other one, it was like, wow, you're getting called out, for absolute errors, not just, that's not the best design.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like I said, I caught a little bit of heat from, a couple of people, but for the most part, everybody was just like, yeah, that looks way better.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you wonder, what is going on that Disney can't, I mean, I'm not even saying that I'm all that great of a designer. I'm looking at it right now and I'm just like, oh, there's things I would change about it already, where I'm like looking at it going, that could be tightened up here and that could maybe change here. But, Disney has designers that would blow me out of the water. Where's someone that can spend, an hour or two designing a quick banner that is actually pleasant. Maybe has a little bit of fun.
Can TBC do something with the workstation? Like trash cans.
You know what? They used to have, I don't know if they're still there. I have to check on the island. They used to have ones that were tree stumps, and then they'd have like the kind of cut that, made it like into like a triangle, and that was where the little flap was. And those were the trash cans. So it was like a tree stump that was like a chopped down tree, and the top of it had little flappy things that did that. And I was like, that's what they used to do. It was like, it wasn't just a trash can. It was a chance to do something fun. And it feels
workstation though with that type of.
Yeah. We can't get rid of our workstation. We need to have at least some of them with a flat surface for us. Although there are the people that they'll make you like a tablecloth that fits perfectly over the trash cans, so that you can have your dinner on the trash can the way they do in Epcot.
Sometimes that's necessary.
Yep. So, but this was my rant, and like I said, it was fun just because of the traction it got. It was, there was a bit of discussion. I had some of the bigger names comment on Twitter, regarding it, so it's like DSNY.
It went viral, basically. Like you
sort of, yeah. I mean,
did you get? It was like 57,000 or something
views between the original post and then the redesigned post. I think it was like well over 300,000 views. 300,000,
see,
and then like over 2,000 likes.
Okay.
Between them, so. But like I said, DSNY commented on it. Offhand Disney commented on it. So it was kind of cool to see that the bigger names are actually seeing stuff like this, and maybe even taking the time to put a little effort into saying, hey, that looks good. So
that's true. Hi, Sammy Bear. Welcome in.
Sammy Bear. So all that to say, Disney, do a little better with the designs. I used to love all the designs that you guys did, especially like the maps and things like that. Do you remember, Cordy, the maps that were books?
I think I think I still have some, and I had someone who sent me a bunch of older.
Yeah. I was gonna say Paul and Newitt sent me a big old package of stuff, and it's got some of those, and it's like you just like open it up and you're just like, oh my god. What happened? Oh yeah, phones.
I know.
The smartphone took over, and why should we bother printing?
Although I did like the D23. Did I ever give you yours?
No, I didn't get that one. But yes, okay. Yeah. See, that one was cool, and I love that they do that still. That they still print.
Yeah,
the special maps like that. That one was a really cool one.
Well, I do have them for you, but. Okay.
So, all right.
What do you think of the banners? Speaking of the banners, what do you think of the Halloween ones that they have in the Esplanade this year?
Most of those are really fun. I really like how they did that, how they incorporate bats into almost everything, and just make it kind of fun and Halloween-y. I thought that was good, and I love that style of illustration. So I'm good with those, and it's park specific, so they give it a wide variety of the attractions. And like I said, they tried to kind of give each one a little bit of a Halloween twist. Yeah. So I like that stuff. And that could be it. I was like, well, everybody was working on those banners. We didn't have time for this one, so we gave it to Greg over here, who is normally normally does accounting for us, but
right, exactly. He didn't have a passion for designing.
Well, he said graphic design is his passion, but so. But yeah, like I said, I love most of the stuff they do, like the banners in DCA with the bat pattern. Love that. I took pictures of that last year, saying that's a really cool pattern.
Yeah.
So it's not that they don't do good stuff. It's when I see these very, very weak effort type of things that I go, come on.
Yeah, you're like,
And like I said, if somebody like me could get that done in an hour. I can't imagine what the incredible designers at Disney can do.
Oh yeah.
That's why it frustrates me. It's like it's not that you guys don't have the talent. It's this was something that got farmed out to somebody that it shouldn't have, and just, got ramroded through the process, and it's good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? So
I know. Yeah.
All right, enough of the rant. All right. Let's see. What else? Is there anything else? Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, I think we're open for a little Q&A.
Yep.
And thank you all, by the way, for joining us tonight. Thank you for hitting that like button. If you haven't yet, give us a like. We're, as you know, we just started this channel, at our 1 year anniversary. So, we're just building up there. So if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead, subscribe, and hit the like button for us. Just to help us kind of push.
And it helps when you guys share it out as well, just because we're, like she said, we're trying to get our feet under us with the brand new channel. We'd love to be able to get to have all the fun stuff that we get to do on our channel with all of you. So the more the merrier. I think it'd be awesome. Once we get going, there's no telling what's going to happen with this channel, because you've got the collective power of Cordy, Bob, and me together. So it's like 2.5, because I'm the half.
You're the half.
Bob and Cordy are the real driving force on this.
We've got, and it's, I feel like, I don't know, we're just starting, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we've all hit kind of milestones as far as like, our anniversaries of streaming, but it's still very new, and a long way to go. That, like you said, that's how I feel too. Like I'm excited for what's to come. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's almost kind of like back to those days of, oh my gosh, I'm going to get to 300 subscribers kind of thing, and we look back on that. It's like, God, that feels like so long ago. And now we're, shooting, for the thousands and stuff. Yeah. And to have so many of you guys supporting us through all of this, it's crazy to me. Like I've always told you guys, I set a goal of 50 subscribers, and, if I did that, I would consider it a success, for me. So to have this much response, and now to have my friends Bob and Cordy, doing this, and we're starting something from the ground up, and you guys, those of you who have been here from the start, we appreciate you, and like I said, we're hoping that we can do something really fun with this. I already know our chalk walk next year is going to be crazy fun, because we're going to have that many more people. I think we kind of sent a little shockwave out in our community of streamers, and I think we're going to get a little bit even bigger response from them, and hopefully get several more joining up with us. And like I said, I would love it if any of you guys want to join and come walk with us that day. I would have such a blast getting to meet all you guys in person. Yeah, I know, all of those things like that. In, like TPC was saying, I think I speak for all of us, right? Where it's still, it means so much. You know what I mean? Like that feeling hasn't gone away. So for all of you to come hang out with us here, or when we're out streaming, and then when we get to meet you out in the parks, that's just like, oh, we forgot about that story. The streamer meeting the person. Oh, I totally forgot about that one. Oh my gosh. Wow. Heather Jung, welcome in. You made it just in time. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick on X. I'm just going to pop in here our blog, our website, just so if you don't already know, we'll be updating that with, I know I have some things I want to add, but all the latest news, we post it there as well. So, and the Christmas food thing came out. I can't do it yet. I'm going to do one, but I just can't talk about Christmas foods and stuff yet. Even I can't. It's too hot. Where is it? Shoot. Trying to think of it. While TPC's looking for that, thoughts 100. Yeah, my apologies, guys. That's okay. I'm going to try to find it. My thoughts are, when the virtual queue will go away is when construction's done, because I think it's just a matter of there's just nowhere to put all the people that would be in the line in the queue. So That's my thoughts.
Yeah, honestly, I have not had any problems with the virtual queue for Haunted Mansion. I actually kind of like it right now because I've gone even at like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I'm still able to get a virtual queue that gets me on, right around 9:30, 10 o'clock, which isn't that bad. I mean, I know it's not, being able to just walk up and go, but I haven't had a bad experience with it. So I kind of hope it stays for a little while. Is that wrong?
There were a few times, I forget what night that was. It was really, really busy though. And it might have been an Oogie Boogie night that I was there at Disneyland and couldn't get a virtual queue.
Yeah, because I can see how there might be some times where it doesn't work, and I think other people have had that issue where, at like 6 o'clock they're already sold out. So I guess it just depends. It may be that, going on a Wednesday, makes it easier. I don't know.
Oh, interesting. So we've kind of gotten in the habit of going like at the end of the night and just, standby is typically open. Last night wasn't busy at all. Right? Like it was a quiet night at Disneyland as far as like wait times and everything. And I did ask about 11:15 and there was no one there. And they were like, nope, sorry, no standby yet. Or no standby. It didn't even say yet. But Linda Lewis says during Fantasmic Friday night, they opened it up for a few minutes. And then last night they said no virtual queue. Or no, virtual queue only.
Oh, interesting. So they didn't have any standby at all.
I feel like sometimes they catch on, because there's a couple other things that have come up where, like Fantasmic, how in the beginning they did a lot of, here we have some spots open in the dining package seating area, and they would bring people over. But I've kind of noticed I don't see that like I used to.
Yeah.
So maybe as people catch on, they're like, hey, we got to stop that because then we're going to have 100 people.
Okay, I found it. So I don't know if it's going to play properly, but let me see. Let me see what I can do. Okay, so you can see here, this is from Disney Scoop guy Matt Desmond, and it says, this mentality is so gross and entitled. Just because someone makes content does not mean they owe you their time. So let's listen to what she says.
I can't hear, but I think we can read the.
Oh, you can't hear it? Shoot.
Yeah, that's weird that there's no sound. I mean, it is captioned. So.
Yeah, so basically she had an experience with a content creator, and when she went to say hi, the content creator she felt was kind of rude. And the person that, posted that tweet said, that just because they're a content creator doesn't mean they owe you anything. Which I guess that's true. They're people, and, you don't know what's going on in their life. And, if they don't want to be bothered by some stranger coming up to them while they're at a park, that's, I guess, their prerogative, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with me, Bob and Cordy kind of talked about it a little bit. And you guys know us, that, we always tell you guys, come say hi. We have no problem with you guys coming up to us or, saying anything, or, I always say, interrupting the live stream. I have no problem with it. I love meeting you guys. I love saying hi. I love giving you guys stickers. So I don't have a problem with anybody coming up, and I don't think I've ever been rude. If anything, I've, ended up, saying, I felt like I was rushing them off, or like I didn't want to inconvenience them any
Yeah,
longer than anything, so it was like I didn't want to get in their way. I didn't want to sit there and think like, oh, they're here to see me and they want to talk to me for any like that. So I just try to make it, quick and, let them have, a quick out if they would like to get out, and then there's times where, I feel like, oh man, did I brush them off? I hope they didn't feel like I brushed them off because I was trying to, basically be courteous to their time more than mine. So, but, how do you feel, Cordy?
Well, first, George, sometimes they just hug your name and run up.
Yeah, sometimes they just kind of, wander up while you're waiting for the parade and just, tell you, hey, we're all going to be a streamer group now. Hey.
I think, yeah. But I think, like, I know how we feel about it when TPC shared this with us. The one thought that I had that kind of, just what popped in my head is, I'm sure there have been times, because sometimes you're like, did someone say my name? Because it's like, who are we, right? Like,
right.
But then you're like, did I hear my name? So
Right.
you might like keep going because you're like, well, I don't want to like say, oh, hi, and they weren't even,
Right. Yeah. You don't want to do that.
But I was like,
especially because then you got to explain it on the live stream. Well, I thought they were talking to me, but obviously they weren't.
Which they love, by the way, right?
Yeah.
They love to see her. But I said, perhaps that's what happened here, because I think she mentions like she said hi and the person didn't say hi back or didn't acknowledge them. But I was like, there's sometimes like what you said, they could be, who knows what their day's been and what they're,
right,
where they're off, to do. And with us live streaming, I think there is that factor where we're live, so we're kind of on,
right.
So if you come up and say hi to us, it's not like we're like, okay, I did my, filming. Now I'm going to take a break. And,
right.
So
well, that's the other thing. It's like, like I've seen Dave from Fresh Baked,
mm-hmm.
And there's been times where he walks by and he's got his GoPro out and he's, so I'm like, I'm not going to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Other times, if I see him just kind of hanging out, I'll just, Fresh Baked and, say, hey, but that's it. I don't try to talk to him, so, but when he's filming, I'm like, I'm not going to, interrupt because I have no idea what he's doing. And if he's like, what, I'm catching the sounds of what's happening. And then some idiot comes by, Fresh Baked, it's like, I would hate to be that guy, so it's, you should know the content creator, first off, get a feel for them. But then also, and I've done this, you go up to the, content creator that you've watched for months or years even, and you're like, hey, how you doing, blah, blah, blah. And you feel like you know them, but this is the first time they're ever seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have your screen name plastered on your forehead for them to go, oh, you're Theme Park Casual, got it. So they're just kind of like, do I know you? Hello? What? Hi? So they're kind of, I don't know what's going on here. What, and like I said, I've been that person on both ends, where you're like, hey, you're my buddy. Oh, by the way, my name is, because they have no idea who I am. And then I've had people, hey, TPC. And I'm like, hey. And then I'm, in my head, I'm like, do I know them? Have I met them? Because I'm terrible at that.
Yeah.
I am horrible at remembering, names and faces and everything like that. So then it's like, hey, you.
Yeah. No, and that's definitely a thing. There was left hand adventures. Left turn adventures. They were in the chat. They got gifted a membership, and then I walked by a family, and the girl said, I could hear her say YouTube, right? So I'm like, oh, so I just and then I kept going, and then she went in chat, and she's like, you just passed me. So I was like, okay, can I come back and give you a sticker? So I went back and we were chatting, right? The dad was there. And then I left and I'm like, you know what? I think I've actually met them like maybe 9 months ago. Like it was a while. Right. But then the wheels started turning and I'm like, okay, the dad looked familiar, right? And then I'm like,
right.
Family. So yeah, it's so just know that.
Yeah, so that's the weird position we're in. And like I said, for us, we're live, you know, so everything is happening on camera. And a lot of times, you know, sometimes people will want to meet you, but not be on camera.
Yes.
And that puts us in a weird position of, you know, do I flip the camera around, or, you know, a lot of times it's like I've gotten better at it to, I just keep the camera away from them if they're not already on camera when they come up.
Yes. Yeah.
And so, you know, and so we have that issue of, you know, some people don't want to be on camera, but still would like to say hi, you know, which is perfectly fine as well. You know, I have no problem with that. You know, just please come up, you know, away from the camera so that I don't inadvertently get you on camera. But yeah, it's a weird situation.
It's Jen's Crochet. There is no interrupting the live stream. Friends enhance the live stream. More love, the better.
Exactly. I mean, honestly, I love meeting you guys. Whenever I can, you know, put a face to the screen name, I love it. In fact, I was walking through Galaxy's Edge one day recently, and I hear, I don't know if they said TPC or Theme Park Casual, and I'm like, hello? And they're like, oh yeah, we watch you. We're mostly ninja watchers and blah, blah, blah. And like, so I was like, okay, cool. And I, you know, gave them some stickers and stuff like that. And then, like I said, I felt like, well, I'm not going to bother you anymore and I'll just leave, you know, kind of thing. But then as I was leaving, I was like, did they want to hang out for a minute or something? You know, and I just kind of like said, okay, bye, see you, I got to go. And I hope they didn't feel like that. You know, it's one of those situations where I'm just like, I'm still terrible at that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a tricky one. You're like, because I always think after, my mind's always spinning after two, and I'm like, should I have offered like, oh, you want to go on Winnie the Pooh together?
Exactly. You know, you don't know what the, you know, what's going on here. What are we doing? Are we best friends now or not? Come on, tell me.
That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, you know, if you guys ever see me, feel free to come and say hi. And if obviously I would do just about whatever I could, you know, if you guys say, you know, hey, we were going over to Pirates, you want to go on Pirates with us? I would, you know, probably 99% of the time say, sure, let's go over to Pirates. Let's go ride Pirates. You know, obviously if there's, you know, fireworks that I got to get to, then maybe I might not.
Right.
But you know,
if it's possible, for sure.
Yeah. But Robola, welcome in. And I think I saw a couple others. Cab Family Adventures, welcome. Bianca, welcome in.
Oh, hi, Bianca. Hi, Cab Family. So Christina H., which, you know, people do say this, so you kind of, you get a feel for who's up for the the hellos, but I say hi to people who say, come and say hi when you see me. Yep,
exactly. And you know, I would hope that they're not lying. I'm not. You know, it's like, if I say come and say hi, I absolutely love it.
Oh, no, I can't. Oh, and then
I got.
Oh, sorry.
Was that the same one that you were doing?
No, I'm kidding. Sorry. There.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. And that, see, when you're by yourself, you've got no one to do that to. You just kind of like to yourself.
Yeah.
Who was that? Did I meet them before? Was I really? It's just, you know, and I'm already self-conscious as it is. You know, I'm mostly an introvert. The fact that I'm on the live streams is shocking to, you know, probably more shocking to me than anybody. So, but of course, Lynn was very demure.
Very demure, very mindful.
Mindful. Yeah. Yeah. George, not mindful.
I love that though. It's so funny. Like, there's someone that I met. I've met so many people on Guardians. I don't know why that seems to be the meeting place. But I met her name's Lilia Black, and she has a YouTube channel. Like, she does organization and stuff, and we follow each other on Instagram. But we'll always like catch each other, right? So I was in Haunted Mansion going to the ride vehicle. It's all quiet, right? You just hear, and I hear, Courtney! And so her husband was like, I don't think that's Courtney. No, it's her. And she goes through everybody. It's Courtney.
Nice.
But it's just, I love it. That's amazing. That is very amazing to me. Like, I love the love. So
yeah,
it's great.
And then we've got Alan, what if I pull the waiter routine? I wait until you take a big bite, then come, hey, how are you? And then just stare in silence.
Real quick,
Yeah.
that to me. I was eating at Plaza Inn.
No.
It's like, hi, I'm all. Oh.
Well, there you go. That's what happens.
That's funny.
Rhonda H, welcome in. And thank you for subscribing.
And we did have a question from Amusement Park Pirates who said, totally unrelated to Disney, but are you guys planning on going to HHN?
I am not planning on HHN. Okay. That's Universal. As much as I love the park, I've been one time in the last ever, and I had a blast. I loved it. Thought the attractions were fantastic for the most part. There were, a couple of ones that I was like, but there was still like half the park that I missed, and the ones that I missed all get high marks from everybody. So I've got plenty to go back and see, and I would love to be able to see it again. So hopefully I can get back there sometime. If it's just so far for me to go. It's literally, with no traffic, it's a 2-hour drive. So
yeah. I know that's a tough one. I did go to HHN last year, but I went for one night, and because my oldest son came from the Bay Area, so it was that's what he wanted to do. So we went. But I was like, I don't know. Like I'm watching it, the streams and everything, and I'm like, it looks really cool. But being, 20 minutes from Knott's,
right.
I'll be spending, that's easy. I can spend a lot of time there and even hop over to Disneyland. So I'm like, and Knott's is amazing. Last year I was just blown away. It's such a great job that they do.
Yeah. Hey, Mike Skellington, just in case I didn't say hi earlier. So yeah, it's just tough. I would love to get to Universal more often. I would love to be able to get out there, but it's just, it's hard enough for me to get to Knott's. I only went to Summer Nights twice this year. I felt like I was there like all the time last year.
You were?
This year. It seemed like it, didn't it? It was like we were there a lot. But this summer was a little different though as well. We had some stuff going on. So
yeah.
Life happening. So all right, guys. Well, we are at the 2-hour mark already. So I think we're going to wrap it up because I do need to get some sleep tonight. Because I'm like wiped out from today with the heat and the smoke. I drove into work, and like half an hour after I got there, they sent out the email saying, because the air conditioning is broken and we don't know when it's going to get fixed, and the smoke and everything, everybody, if you can work from home, go ahead and go home. And I was like, I didn't have to drive in, and then when I got home, the laptop wasn't connecting to our server properly. Gosh. So it was just, I'm like 6 hours behind schedule on like 3 different projects now. So I'm already stressing about tomorrow morning. So
yeah,
but enough about me.
Well, we have a few people that came in here. Christina Holmes, were you in here earlier?
I want to say she was, but I can't remember. Because I know we said Christina H, but I thought I saw Christina Holmes earlier, but I could be wrong.
Ronnie is here, not my bucket list.
Silver Stars Adventures, welcome in.
Stars Adventure. Thank you guys for joining. Yeah. You can always watch the replay. We had some pretty good topics. So if you missed anything, please feel free to go back and watch the replay.
Yeah.
And speaking of Knott's, just real quickly before we say goodbye, I know we've got opening nights coming up for Not Scary Farm. So
crazy.
And that'll be happening before our next podcast. So we all plan to be there. All 3 of us, right? So, for the 19th.
The 19th, yes. And then our next Park Streamers is the 23rd.
Yeah, so we'll have all the deets on on that. So I know TPC, the first Macy's going to go to is Widow. So be on the lookout for that one.
Jeremy Heath, welcome in.
Hello, Jeremy.
So, All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. And so, Courtney, would you let everybody know where they can catch you on the social media and when you'll be in the park next?
Of course, it's Cordy in California on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitch. And I think it might be Thursday.
Okay.
I think it's Thursday.
Cool. All right. And you can find me on YouTube, X, and Instagram, all of them at Theme Park Casual. I plan to be live Wednesday night, and then I will be doing a rope drop on Saturday. I'll be meeting a friend who is taking his wife to California Adventure for the very first time.
Oh, wow.
So it should be interesting. I don't know if I'll be live streaming with them or if we're going to do a live stream and then I'll just go and hang out with them for the rest of the day. But we'll see.
Oh.
I may do another evening stream if we can catch some fireworks. We'll see. So with that, again, thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you everybody for subscribing. Remember to share out the stream and make sure to follow Berry Place 28, Cordy in California, as well as me, Theme Park Casual, on our individual channels so that you can get as much theme park content as possible. And until next time, everybody, we will see you hopefully at the parks. All righty, guys. Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed our amazing show tonight. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the next Park Streamers Hangout. Have a good night, everyone.